everyone. Welcome to our March 2022 Tech and Treats at MCTV. I'm your host, Jonathan Grabowski. Got a lot of people on Zoom, which is really, really awesome. For those that haven't been to a Tech and Treats before, so this is something that we do on a monthly basis. Is a great training opportunity for members here and visitors and guests to kind of learn about what goes on here and some things that we do. It could be ranged from all the way from camera stuff to audio production to video production. Hello, come on in. I get everybody else on Zoom.
What's that?
I get everybody else on Zoom, so that's why you see me talking to two different computers. So for the past 2 years, we've been doing this in a hybrid setting. In regards to, so some people are coming in, some people are, going to do this at home. So this month, what we decided to do was video for business. The video thing is something that we've been doing over the past, 4 to 5 years at MCTV, and I wish we did it sooner. One of those things that we kind of, wish, looking back on now and how successful it is and how great it is, we want to do sooner. But today I want to do the, 5,000 foot overview of kind of the video for business and some things that we do here and some things that video provides. Just some of the ground rules. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I will get to them afterwards. If you missed some of this or you have to jump out early, we put this up on YouTube a few days afterwards. So, if you missed anything, don't worry about it. And I'm more than happy to share some of the slides with you later on. And feel free to, we'll have some fun for the next half hour or so. So I'll jump into the screen share. You all should be able to see my screen. Okay, so the first off is I need to do a video. This is why we did this whole idea. We work with a lot of production service clients and they come to say, I need to do a video. And that's where it stops. And it's, okay, great, what? And then they say, I don't know. So we're gonna do the 5,000 overview of the types of videos, what you're gonna say, some tips of the trade and some alternatives. So those are the kind of the 4 things that you should be able to take away from tonight is those 4 basic concepts. The types of videos there are, because there's a whole bunch of types. It's not just one type of video for business. Things that you might want to say on video, some of the things that I've learned in my years of doing this, and some of the alternatives to doing video for business. So a little bit about me. I'm Jonathan Grabowski. I'm the executive director here. I've been here since the beginning of MCTV, which was back in 2008. 20 years in the video production TV field. I started in news, actually. So my first original jobs were working on news desks at news stations in Boston, going out and doing stories, doing editing, post-production. So that's where I got my start. I've worked on commercial shoots. I've worked on business shoots. I've worked on small films. You name it, I've done it probably. The only thing I haven't filmed is a wedding, which is really rare for videographers. I don't do weddings. I love the business aspect. In addition to some of the stuff I've done here, I'm the former president of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce. So I did that for 4 years. I was on the board for 10 years. Former BNI president. I've been on the Government Affairs Committee for the South Shore Chamber of Commerce. And I'm a board member of Mass Access, which is the advocacy organization for all media centers in the state. So I'm on the legislative committee, on their events committee. So just to kind of give you a little idea of my background, and hopefully you think, all right, he knows what he's talking about at this point. Why you need to do a video? Why do you need to do a video? So HubSpot has a great marketing survey that they do every year, and I always love to pull the data from it because it's really cool to see, the things that they pick up from it. So 86% of business use video as a marketing tool. I'm actually kind of surprised it's not in the 90s, but there's a lot of businesses out there that do need video still. So 86% of business use video as a marketing tool. The amount of video that people watch online has doubled since 2018, which is not shocking at all, because the way we, the amount of smartphones, tablets, devices, smart TVs, any smart device, there's more video out there. And now, I'm just trying to multitask here. And now with everything else, people aren't making instructions anymore. All your things are QR codes that you scan to learn how to use devices. So it's a great way to, pull things up, see how things work, get a product review, see what else someone else thinks of it. And then my favorite is 94% of marketers say video has helped them increase their user understanding of their product or service, which we'll delve into as to why it's so important. So we're going to go through the types of business videos, and this isn't all of them, but this is kind of the catch-all, you know, the big, I guess 5 you would call it. So you have commercial videos, which are traditional. I call them non-traditional. We'll get into that in 1 second. Testimonials, which, you know, it's a testimonial to your company, your business, someone's, you know, speaking on behalf of you, talking about how great you are. The product launch, you got a brand new product, you need to kick it off. You want to do that big grandiose debut. The product demo, the how-to, and then the product review. So the product demo and how-to are, you know, the instructional video, I guess you would call it. The product review is someone reviewing your product. Could be yourself, it could be a third party. We'll talk about that just a little bit more. So we're going to start first with the commercial. This is the who we are. This is what we do. This is what we offer. Where you can find us, the who, what, where, when, why, how. You know, when I worked in news, we always talked about the who, when, where, why, what, how. And the commercial is essentially the who, what, why, when, how of doing a business video. And we're going to show you throughout this different examples of what I mean by traditional, non-traditional, and all these different types. So it's stupid for me to talk about, just show you it. So let's take a look at our traditional example here. I apologize, someone's arrived.
Wynn Hyundai, one of the fastest growing independently owned dealerships in the Western region. With an inventory of over 500 cars in stock. Striving to be the #1 Hyundai dealer in the nation. Easily accessible from the 405 and 710 freeway. State-of-the-art sales and personal service facility. Our in-house financing department can assist customers with all credit situations. Wynn Hyundai of Carson. Our customers here are like family.
Apologize, the video's a little choppy, but I think it's between trying to run through 3 different computers and Zoom, it makes it a little funky. So that's your traditional video. That's your traditional commercial. It's the who, when, why, where, what, how. You know, we're located off of this. You know, here's what we offer. Here's our name. You know, it's pretty straightforward. You know where they are, where they're located. Here's what they offer. It's, you know, it's pretty simplistic. You know, car dealerships are great for that. That's why I pulled it up. Now, the non-traditional, we kind of get some of that here, why, what, and how, but it's not this straightforward directness. This one's kind of fun and cute.
The all-new Subaru Outback with driver focus alerts. Dog tested, dog approved.
So great video. So you know it's about Subaru Outback. You know what it offers. You can probably figure out where to find a Subaru. I think it might. I don't know if it shows on the bottom of the web page, but it's non-traditional. It's not saying, you know, you have to. It's not the call to action. It's not the buy here, buy now sort of thing. It's actually really funny when I pulled this commercial because dogs usually have a bad, I'm trying to think of the term, bad luck using dogs in car commercials. Nissan used him actually in the 90s and it was a disaster. It didn't go well. Nissan actually had some financial issues. And great book, if you're ever interested in PR, is Jason Vines' What Would Jesus Drive? He's a PR expert, worked for multiple manufacturers. And when he got to Nissan, he's like, why are we so bad? You know, why are we so bad? And his assistant looked at him and goes, dogs don't buy trucks. So it's actually funny that they use dogs in that commercial, but that's a non-traditional commercial. You know, it's cute, it's funny, you know, it's laughable. It's not super salesy. It's not very blunt and direct. It's not telling you exactly where your local Subaru dealership is, but you should be able to figure it out. And it's showing you who they are and what they offer. So those are the two types of commercials, the traditional and the non-traditional, a little outside the box. jump up to product launch. So you got a new product. You got this product you've been working on for 3 years. It's the best, and you want to show it off to the world. So product launches are great because it's like, think of it as like a movie trailer. It's like your big, flashy 5,000 foot overview. You're not going into, minute details. You're showing off the highlights. You're showing off the improvements you made over your previous product. You really want to, it's that epitome of, selling the sizzle. Your product's a steak, but right then you are selling the sizzle of that product. So an example of this is
a faster chip, a high-performance display,
sizzle,
and the biggest upgrade ever to the camera.
Great big upgrade.
iPhone 13 Pro. It's
Product.
ready for new wide and ultra wide cameras let you capture incredible
Wide
scenes
cameras.
in even lower light. The new telephoto camera has 3 times optical zoom for even closer close-ups. Discover a new world in macro with the ultra-wide camera.
Take all these beautiful
And
photos.
upload and download faster on the go with 5G. The superior durability of ceramic shield means iPhone 13 Pro is ready for any shoot, almost anywhere. iPhone 13 Pro offers filmmaking capabilities not possible in even the most expensive movie cameras. Now you can capture, edit, and deliver in ProRes, the same format used in the movie industry.
ProRes.
And introducing cinematic mode, which brings the art of cinematography to iPhone. For the first time, you can shift the focus automatically while you shoot or even afterwards. And all in Dolby Vision. The Super Retina XDR display with ProMotion uses an adaptive refresh rate that makes the iPhone experience feel faster and more fluid. Power is redefined with A15 Bionic, the world's fastest smartphone chip, and a huge leap in battery life to keep up with your day. More powerful, more intelligent, and a world of cinematic possibilities. iPhone 13 Pro.
Stop that. So great kind of product launch video, as in jump up here, as in it's showing, all the really cool features, and it's got this great kind of movie thing where it's, this super dramatic, way over the top, this is the coolest, greatest thing, and here's all the neat things you can do with it. Here's all the improvements we made. Here's how, you can dunk it in a whole container of coffee and it's going to be perfectly fine. So this is really great. It's that, I'm on the wrong slide there. So it's a great product. It's that 5,000 overview. It's not showing you how to work your settings and how to transfer all your photos over from your old phone. It's super flashy and it's highlighting all those features and improvements. So that's a product launch. If you're going to do a video, make it flashy if you're launching a brand new product. You're selling sizzle right there. So deeper dive, because no one reads the instructions. The product demo, product overview, this can be roped into the how-to videos, how it works. This is where you get into the instructionals, really. Because nowadays when we get devices, they don't come with the manuals like they used to back in the day. It's, hey, scan your phone. Here's a QR code, so you can pull up, maybe a PDF and all the links to all the videos on how to actually operate this thing. So what's great about product demos is that you don't want to overwhelm your customer. So you can break these down to a series of videos. You don't have to show your whole entire product and how to do every single thing in one single video. You can do it in a whole multitude of videos. Example here is a piece of software that I work with in some freelance stuff. And what they did, because the software is kind of complex, they broke it down into really simplistic videos with, you know, the head of the company actually kind of showing you on screen how it actually works. So pull up SDK.
Let's take a look at using iRacing Live HUD to display an overlay visible to you whilst you're driving. I'll assume at this point you've already got iRacing Live timing up and running.
So it's great. He's recording his screen so you can see what it looks like. You can literally watch this while you have your screen up too.
Or the user manual to get to this point. Once you're here, we want to go to the SDK Gaming website where you downloaded the live timing software already.
And he has a whole bunch of these videos on the site.
Go to My Account.
He's doing it easily explained.
Once that opens, we've got download
Recording a
just on
screen,
the
just
left-hand
talking
side. So
through.
halfway down, got downloads. And then for you, Live HUD is probably going to be the second option here. But for me, it's a little bit further down. So iRacing Live HUD latest release. That's the one you're looking for. So once you're ready, click on that to start downloading it. I've just done that already. Once it's finished downloading,
She just already downloaded
click
the stuff
the
before you do the
icon to open it up. You see then Windows are going to warn us that it's not a recognized app. So you need to click on more info and then run anyway. SDK Gaming Live HUD is then just going to install for a moment. And once finished installing, it's going to go down into our system tray just on the bottom right here of our taskbar. And so now we can see straight away we've got a race overlay starting to display. So the app itself is, as I said, in the system tray. So if I right click, I've got options for settings, reload overlay, and quit. And now I need to go into settings because we can see that the HUD isn't displaying the full size of my screen. So at the minute, we've got it set to 1920 by 1080.
So he's going through the things that, you know, people would normally ask about, the things that, you know, you probably get a message saying, hey, why is this resolution not showing right? It's a pretty good instructive deep dive into
positions aren't correct. So if the top left corner of the HUD isn't in the top left where you want, then you can adjust the values there.
I love you, but shut me down, bud.
So if I go back into iRacing,
and he goes back. So these are great for the, you know, the deep dives how to, so you're not getting emails consisting, how does this work? How do I do this? Or are people calling you up? You know, that series of videos that you can really break down how your product works. You know, these are also great for repair type stuff. Over the weekend, my dryer broke. So what did? I went on YouTube and Googled my dryer, you know, and there's about 20 videos on on the potential issues as to why my dryer isn't working. So creating those small videos that help a consumer. It also, you know, helps your brand, helps education of your product as well, which is really key. So you go to, that's the demo. Skip the testimonial. Zoom, every time I come out of Zoom, it's making me, I come in and out of Zoom or YouTube, it's making me skip a page. So completely forgot about the testimonial, which is one of my all-time favorites. Actually, what I started doing business videos with. It's great because it's easy, simple, and straightforward. It's someone else selling for you. It's someone talking about how you've impacted them. You know, before I met you, or before I used this product, or before I got involved with this group, you know, my life stunk. I had these situations, I had these issues. You know, life was terrible, and then I found X. You know, how their life is greater, how their life's improved, you know, you see this a lot of nonprofit organizations, you know, before I found said group, or, and then talk about how great you are, you know, how great it is to work with you, how easy it is, you know, how you're such a wonderful person, not just a business person, but a wonderful person to work with. It's great with B2Bs. I see this a lot with, for example, a few years ago, I did a video for a construction company who were building a hospital up in Maine. And what they did is they did a video kind of as a testimonial to all their partners in the project, because they knew, hey, this is an area that we want to be in, that we want to work on. So we're going to spotlight all our partners and how great it was to work with them, you know, throughout this project, in hopes that, you know, down the road, you know, maybe we'll work on some more projects together. So it's a great, you know, you see this a lot with charities, as I mentioned. The way I do it is think of your best customer. Who's your best customer when you're doing testimonials? You know, who's the person that you'd like to bring to every single sale that you have, but you can't? You know, do a quick video with them, just talking about how great it is to work with you. So a good example of this. This one wouldn't link. This is strange. So we did a video with the South Shore Chamber. This might have been last year. Come on, you can do it. They asked us if we could do a video spotlighting one of their partners.
Developing leaders here on the South Shore is important. You know, we've had the 2030 plan that we put together a couple of years ago, and you know, looking at some of the housing and infrastructure problems that the area faces. Not everyone knows about that. You know, and they may be in different aspects of their jobs and careers, and getting awareness so that when they do have an opportunity to go into their local towns and communities, to make awareness and that we do have issues that need to be addressed. So for the incoming cohort, it's such an exciting program. And what I'd say is show up, be engaged, and have some fun with it, because you really will meet a lot of great people and see a lot of fantastic organizations and what they're up to.
So it was almost like a multi-testimonial video right there, because you had, you know, Jim Dunphy, South Shore Bank president, you know, their partner with the South Shore Chamber, you know, talking about what, you know, what is to partner with the South Shore Chamber. And also they collaborate on a program called Leadership South Shore. You know, this is one of their babies they did together. And the tail end, he almost does a testimony for Leadership South Shore, talking about the program and how it engages people in the South Shore community and makes them better leaders. So kind of short, sweet, doesn't have to be a really long testimonial, just hit on the key points really before all this stuff. Where am I going next? Because YouTube likes to screw with me here today. We did the demo. We'll jump to product. Jump to the product review. So product reviews, these are different than the demos. These are different than, you know, the kickoffs. This is when occasionally having someone review your product. Are you comfortable enough having someone review it? You know, this could be an influencer, I hate that term, or a trusted person in the field, like a field expert. And in the video I'll show you, I'll explain, you know, why I picked it. But the thing is, I mentioned, are you comfortable with them being honest? Are you ready to hear them say what they like, and most importantly, what they don't like? So the video I pulled up for this is a gentleman by the name of Philip Bloom. He's a world-renowned videographer, and he does a lot of does a lot of product reviews. And companies will send him gear, and as he says to them, you know, be willing to accept the fact that I may say
the viewfinder
okay.
is beautiful. It's the OLED viewfinder. We've had OLED viewfinders in many of these. So
this is a real B&H customer story.
Okay, we checked all 4 systems. And
only still cameras / video cameras for quite a while. In fact, I had a little add-on for the NEX5N. Whenever I filmed that ages ago, and it is very, very nice. It's way better than the back screen. I'm not a big fan of the back screen, and it only sort of tilts. It doesn't flip out like the GH4. It's just not as good, not as nice as the GH4 screen. It's okay, but the EVF now, that's pretty special. And we also have peaking, which is very nice to have, of course. It's edge peaking via color as opposed to sharpening, so you can select the color you want and the strength. It really does help. That, along with the punch in whilst recording, it does give you that little bit of confidence when shooting with a full frame camera with shallow depth of field. Way shallower than you should possibly be shooting anyway, especially if something's moving. Why are you doing this? Why are you not stopping down? Are you crazy? It's out of focus. Stop it. The audio add-on device that I've got is clunky. It's made by Sony. The biggest problem is the connection is via cable and the hot shoe. And the connection isn't actually part of the unit itself, so you actually need a cold shoe mount as well as the hot shoe of the camera, which means a cage or an arm or something like that. Otherwise, it's very good. It's what I'm using right now for the audio. I've got a Sanctum Plus 11 going into the add-on device, XLR add-on device, which is a much better way of recording. We have preamps inside, and it even gives you phantom power. And I do love the E-mount. We obviously have that ability to put on Canon glass, and it interfaces really quite well. Just don't bother buying an E-mount for this, which doesn't have any electronic controls. It's absolutely pointless unless you're just shooting with Samyang or Rokinon glass. All Canon lenses need power to change the iris, and some of them to change focus, and of course for IS if your lens has it. So don't bother. If you are using a Metabones adapter, to let you know.
So I'll jump on that. There we go. Review. So what I love about that video, so Phil Bloom, for those who don't know, famous videographer, he, does a lot of product reviews. He's kind of the guy people look at when someone, debuts a new piece of equipment. He reviews it and he tells them, as I said, he'll tell the company, be prepared for what I'm going to say. I might say I love it. I might say I hate it. I'm going to give you a wide variety of opinions. And so he kind of goes through everything, and it's actually it's a 40-minute long video. And he voices what he likes about it, which is good. He voices what he doesn't like about it. It's trusted. He's a trusted person. So when people, so when you're doing a product or you're having someone, think of someone in that industry that's related to that product that's trusted, that people know that their word means something, good, bad, different. So the big question. So when I meet with people to discuss video for business or doing a video, what's the first thing I ask them, after kind of talking, like, okay, what type of video do you want to do? And after they'll be like, they don't know what the heck you're talking about, or you're speaking a foreign language, is what separates you from others in your field. That's the big thing that I like to work on with clients. Think about what separates you. What's that thing? Are you a family business? Do you have a long history, or have you been around since the beginning of time? Or, is your way of thinking or your philosophy different than everyone else that's around you? Are you hyper local? That's something that's really kind of come on the past 5 to 10 years, this sense of being really hyper local and focused on the community that you serve. Is your way of doing business different than everyone else? So those are the things to kind of think about when you're thinking about ideas for your video and the message that you want to get across, the important things. Because, if you just say, hey, we have this product, it doesn't really matter. There has to be some additional aspect to it, and thinking about ideas like family business, way of thinking, hyperlocal, of that nature. So you get your video done. You decide, I'm going to do a testimonial, or I'm going to do a demo. Where the heck are you going to put it? Now you have this file. So social media. You have a Facebook page. We've done actually tutorials on Facebook a while ago. I think last summer we did one. So put it on your business Facebook page. You can put it on your Instagram page. You can put it on your Twitter. Your YouTube. Do you have a YouTube page? You can take that. What's great about YouTube is once it's up there, you can take that link to other things. You can embed it, for example, on various items like your website. It's a great place to put your video, or your email and constant contact. I've seen that a lot with people more recently, is, putting their videos inside a quick, newsletter or whatever they do by a constant contact, MailChimp or whatever. And also having on your website. That's a great place to put it. That first thing that people see on your website, that welcome, here's who we are, video, that, that overview. Come on, you can do it. Tips of the trade. So these are things that I've learned throughout my time doing this. Keep it shorter. Shorter is better. Shorter videos have higher retention rates. My notes, I think it's like anything under 90 seconds. That's kind of the rule of thumb, especially with these smaller videos, is, if you want people to watch it, keep it short. My big pet peeve with video in business is audio. I call it the empty room. If I see another realtor do a video about a house that they're trying to sell and they're doing it in an empty room with an iPhone, I'm going to scream, because that iPhone is just capturing. So without getting to a full deep dive here. So if you're filming something on your iPhone, it's going to pick up every sound in the room. So if I pulled up my phone, was filming, it's going to pick up everything. It's going to pick up the echo in the room. It's going to pick up my feet kind of moving around on the squeaky floor. I don't have a centralized microphone. So audio is so key in these situations. So if you're doing something in a large space or outside, it's really critical to have proper audio. A small microphone, being mic'd up, it's really key. Consider doing a series of videos. Some of the issues that I tend to see is that people try to jam everything into one video, and it just gets really gobbled up and it doesn't make any sense, and your 90-second video becomes a 4.5-minute long video. So really consider breaking it down to smaller things. Big thing for me too is when you have examples, show them. So if you have an idea in mind and you're like, hey, I saw this video, and I'd like to do something like that, show it to me. And I can tell you, hey, yeah, we can definitely do something like that. Or hey, let's tweak this because I think this will suit you better. One things that that works better for me and other video people is giving us ideas of what you want to do. Just telling us, hey, do whatever you want doesn't really work, because generally what happens is that you end up with a video that I think is great and a video that you absolutely hate. So it's really important to give ideas, share them, and keep the communication process open. So any video professional that you work with, will kind of keep you in through the whole process. So you have the pre-production phase where we're sitting down, we're talking things out, we're sharing ideas, and I'm then delivering you a concept. Then we go to the production phase where we're actually filming this thing. We're doing our filming, we're doing our graphics. Then we go to post-production when we put it all together. So at the as we get to the tail end of post-production, there's going to be questions. Hey, what colors do you guys? Colors and fonts are important, and maybe what logos do I need to put in? And then what happens usually afterwards is that you'll get a draft. You get a draft you can look at and say, hey, I like this. Can we tweak that? Can we tweak this? And then we move on to a final draft. So that's kind of the process works. The other thing too is, talk out, as I mentioned, write out your ideas, concepts. So one of the challenges that I always see, and it slows up production and gets people frustrated, is that they try to memorize every single thing. You can't do that. It doesn't look natural. I do a lot of podcasts here, and what I'll do is I'll send people questions in advance. And it's really challenging because the people that kind of just look at it briefly and just they go with the flow, it comes out really well. And then occasionally you have people that literally write out their answers, and it comes out as robotic. It doesn't come out as natural. And when you're doing this, you want to seem as natural as possible. I know it's television. I know people get a little nervous, but keep it as natural as possible. Just stick to concepts, stick to basic things. The way I try to teach it is, imagine if you're at a networking event and you're talking to someone. Think about it that way. You're probably going to be pretty natural at talking to someone about your business at a networking event. Just imagine it's the same scenario when we're doing video here. I think. So because we're at MCTV, I wanted to share some of the alternatives that we do in regards to video for business. So we talked about the paid aspects of production services and the types of videos that we're able to produce here. So a couple of things that we do that are really different than hiring a production house out of Austin, the local factor. So we do, as many of you know, we do a lot of programs, a lot of sports in the community. Well, we have underwriters that support that coverage, so you could underwrite, our sporting events, for example, like, our spring sports, our fall sports, underwrite our news programming. There's opportunities like that to be seen in your community and be seen as a community benefactor. So those are the fun little ways of doing it, the underwriting of local coverage. You can create your own show. This is for the brave here. Creating your own show is a great idea because then you're seen as the local expert. It doesn't have to be this long massive production. We work with you here to create a program. For example, if you're a financial planner, create a show about things financial planners discuss, topics. 1 week it could be about simple IRAs. 1 week it could be about college planning. Just be seen as the local expert and create a great program that will run on our channel, but also you can use and put on your website. And now you have this great source of material, to show potential clients. For those that really don't want to be on camera, produce a podcast. Podcasting has gotten more and more popular because it's easy to do. It's really digestible. You can listen to it in the car, you can listen to work, you can listen to it you're walking the dog. And very similar, be the local expert and take those topics here and there, that one topic per episode, and expand upon it. So you have a whole series of podcasts if you're a business person. So those are 3 kind of fun alternatives I wanted to bring up because, we're here at MCTV. I'm looking at my other computer. There are some questions here. So question here is, what is the process of getting an industry thought leader / influencer review your product service? Is it acceptable to expect that they will know how to quote unquote video themselves? No, you shouldn't expect them to, because for example, in the example I showed with the industry expert, he's a professional, world-renowned videographer. So I think maybe having them work and find someone to review your product would be the way to go. What kind of limitations do social media companies put on imported video size, resolution, format, etc. source? That depends on the product. That depends on if it's YouTube, Facebook. Usually they're all pretty easy to work with, and a lot of them are able to kind of compress or modify the video to fit their standards. As long as you're not doing it in some really, really funky format or some bizarre codec, which I won't get into because codec will really bore everyone. As long as you're kind of doing it pretty straightforward, exporting it out as a HD file in QuickTime or something like that, or an MPEG-2 or an MPEG-4, it's pretty straightforward. It's really rare. I saw Heather actually finish that. Thank you, Heather. Let's see, where do you begin? Choose audience, choose message. That's a good question. Choose audience or choose message. It depends. If you're really passionate about something, you're trying to push something across, I would choose message. I would choose message if you really believe in it. If you're trying to hit a specific audience, if you have like a demographic that you want to hit, for example, if you're trying to hit, treasury bank managers, in a 2-state radius between the ages of 35 and 50, yes, then you're going to go into a specific audience and discuss, hey, here's the type of video I want to do. Here's the things that they're into. Here's things I know that interest them. So it's going to depend. If you have a target audience, then yeah, you're going to choose the audience. If you have a product, but you're not sure 100% what the audience is, and there's a message, choose the message. So that's my humble opinion. Any questions from in here? Going once, going twice. Well, if anyone has anything else, I think we're about to wrap up. As I said, this is kind of our 5,000-foot overview of video for business. I wanted to, originally this was a 2-hour long, seminar we did at the South Shore Chamber a few years ago. And I said, let's break it down to really simple, easy to understand concepts. So hope everybody took away a few things from it, learned about the types of videos that you can do, some of the tips of the trade, where to put your videos. If you have any questions, even after the fact, I know I'm the type of person that I wake up in the middle of the night and realize I should ask that question. Feel free to email me. And if there's something you missed, we're going to have this on YouTube probably early next week. So thanks very much, everyone.